wanted to get out some thoughts on the fact that Elon Musk announced that Tesla will be teaming with some Chinese developers in order to come forward with a product that will be based from the Shanghai Gigafactory. And some thoughts on what that means. I am wondering if this was part of the deal moving into the Chinese space initially. Is this to export? Is this to further develop the Chinese market in electric vehicles? Is this to improve the Chinese GDP? Here are some numbers that I found and I thought were worth mentioning here. In 2017, the Chinese GDP was $12.24 trillion. That compares pretty favorably with the United States GDP of $19.39 trillion, and it is much larger than the Indian GDP of $2.59 trillion. And it might seem questionable at this point, why would you pull India into this pissing contest? But I think a lot of it comes back to standard business practices. I think a lot of times when you're looking at GDP, what you're looking at is a more quote-unquote advanced country pulling in raw resources from a quote-unquote less advanced country and then kicking out what will be the quote-unquote advanced products. So what does this have to do with India and China? India has massive lithium deposits. India is also going through a terrible pollution crisis and air quality crisis. So I think that announcing this product means one of two things, and these statistics have to do with the first one. I think this means that either A, Tesla will be teaming with China to produce a model that will get around 100 miles of range. The average daily travel in China is between 19 and 29 miles. China has a large market for these lesser range vehicles. And what that does is it allows Tesla to create an automobile with 1/3 of the battery that they are now producing autos with. Tesla gets 300 miles of range for most of their automobiles. Now, what does this mean going forward with battery technology? It is hard to say. Perhaps moving forward, Tesla will be able to get away with less than 1/3 of the current battery size for 100 miles if you are maintaining margin on an automobile. Now, in China, around 28 million autos sell per year. Around 4.4 million sell in India. What you're looking to do, if this is your product from Tesla, is you are looking to crank up the percentage of market share that you're getting. In addition to that, it also stays in tune with the Tesla mission statement, which is to replace as many automobiles that are gas-guzzling cars on the road now with your electric automobiles, with your electric cars. And by creating a lower price point, mass market vehicle that you can sell in China and export to India, what you're doing is you're creating a whole new ball game that the big boys can't even touch. Because right now, all the large manufacturers that are even attempting, to get in to the electric vehicle space, they're having to create premium automobiles in order that their price point can be high so that they can maybe hope to one day eke out some type of margin, so that they can hope to make some type of profit per automobile. If Tesla is able to put forward an automobile and mass produce it that gets around 100 miles of range with 1/3 of the battery and costs anywhere in the low $20,000 range Now, whatever that translates to in foreign currencies, but around the $20,000 range and still make a profit. This could prove game over for other car manufacturers, not just in China, but in India and in the United States. I think that is definitely a possibility for what they are doing there. And I think it is necessary to also observe the fact that when you're talking about the Chinese market, these vehicles that get around a 100-mile range, that's sort of the market share that trucks get in the United States. This is also true in the European markets. These countries are used to cars that get around the 100-mile range. These are countries for whom the fret of running out of charge is nil. So if you were able to mass manufacture something like that and turn a profit, it could be a game changer. Now, the B option here is to note that China is a country where pride plays second fiddle to none. This is a very proud nation, and I think that they are taking it a little bit as a slap in the face that they have tried and tried and tried to convert to electric cars and ended up having to bring Tesla in. And because of that, they're going to be teaming with Tesla in order to do something to create waves. As a car manufacturer, Tesla is hoping to break into the pantheon of Volkswagen, Mercedes, and BMW. And I think that what they might be doing here is teaming with Chinese designers in order to secure a place in that pantheon by not only putting forward such a great product, but by it being China designed. If you were able to do that, if you were able to claim a homegrown status on a premium car in the Chinese market, it won't compete with Volkswagen, Mercedes, and BMW for those upper class dollars. It will smash them. Also, what you're looking at for Tesla as you move into this territory, and you're talking about a car manufactured in China for lower expense, and you're putting it out for a Model S or possibly Roadster type of price point, is a massive, massive margin on that automobile. And I think if this is in fact the strategy, what they might also be doing is trying to target Japan. 4.4 million cars sell in Japan per year as well. This is roughly, per the statistics that I could find, this is the exact same number as India. But you're going to be shipping them a much lesser distance and making a far larger profit if you can break into that space. And it is no secret that the Japanese market is a fan of technology. And Tesla is the only car manufacturer, the only major car manufacturer, despite the fact that they're a large market cap manufacturer at this point, but they are not at the scale of the Fords or GMs of the world. But their market cap is larger. But they are the only large manufacturer that is presenting their automobiles as if automobiles are still tech, are still emergent technology, as if there are still things to be developed in transportation. The large Japanese manufacturers are in no hurry to electrify their fleet. Tesla is exclusively electric. So it is interesting to me that I think when you really break this down, this is going one of two directions. Either A very cheap automobile to be consumed by the masses, or B, an extremely expensive automobile that will prime the margin for this car manufacturer. But I don't think that there is any possibility of this being anything in between. As always, I am interested in what you think is going on here with this announcement, and what are the other possibilities? What could Elon have up his sleeve with this announcement?